What's going on, guys? 8-Bit Glitch 79 here, and we've made it to the third day of the 12 nostalgic days of Christmas. I hope you're enjoying this series so far and the memories that are being shared by our guests and by myself, yours truly. So, with that, I'd like to hand it over to our first guest this episode. It's Steve Craig Retro Games. Now, I met Steve this year, and he's just got a fantastic channel. He has these great series he does every week. He does a handheld game of the week, and he does a home-held game of the week. I think it's weekly, or it might be bi-weekly, I'm not sure, where he plays like on a Nomad or the TurboGrafx handheld system that I'm a loss for words right now, the Express. And he's got the Super Boy for Super Nintendo games, and he'll play a game on that and show it off. So he'll do a handheld game on a different handheld system. He'll do a home handheld game. He does pickups on Fridays. If he doesn't have any pickups, he'll do a collection, a collection video. So be sure to check out his channel. He's been a great friend and a great part of this community. So I'll have, of course, all these guests are linked down in every video down in the description below. So please check out their channels if you would for me. It'd be my Christmas gift from you to me. All right. So with that, Steve, tell us what you got.
What's up, guys? Retro Gamer Steve here, and you're watching 8-Bit Glitch's 12 Days of Christmas. So Sean was awesome enough to ask me if I wanted to participate in this year's 12 Days of Christmas, and I happily accepted. So he told me to just speak about one or two Christmas memories. He said it could be birthday or any kind of memory, but 'tis the season, so I'm going to talk about two Christmas memories. So one is actually about this game right here. So my family and I went to visit my grandparents one year. Gosh, I forget how old I was when this game came out. 8 or 9. And this was the one thing that I wanted for Christmas more than anything else. So we actually lived in a different state than my grandparents, and we were going there for 2 weeks. So I'd already asked for all of the, my Christmas presents and everything. I'd already done my list. And before we left, I said, "Dad, do I need to take my Nintendo?" And he said, "No, we're going to be doing plenty of other things, so you can leave it home." So I left my Nintendo behind. Wake up Christmas morning, super excited. Open up this game, not this specific one, but this game. I wish I still had the original, and had no Nintendo Entertainment System to play this game on. So for almost 2 weeks, I would literally sit and look at every square inch of this box, and I probably read the back of this 1,000 times. Could not wait to get home. So when I finally got home, I killed this game. I played this thing to death and absolutely love this game. A lot of people say Mario 3 is their favorite Mario game. To me, Mario 2 is my favorite Mario game. I just have a lot of great memories playing this game, other than the fact that I got this for Christmas and couldn't play it. So that memory will always stick with me in my mind. Something that I wanted all year, and then when I got it, I couldn't even enjoy it for almost 2 weeks. So I think about that almost every Christmas, and that's all because of Super Mario Brothers 2. And then my other big memory as far as Christmas is when I was 5, and I got my first Atari 2600 system. And I actually watched some old Christmas footage about 3 weeks ago, and this was film I haven't watched since I was probably 10 to 15 years old. So it's been almost 30 years since I've seen this film, and watched it the other night and actually got to see myself open up the Atari and freak out. So I got the Atari 2600 that year, some games, I don't remember what games they were, and then a bunch of Star Wars figures, which of course was one of the biggest toys that year. And so getting to see the old footage of me opening those presents and freaking out over Star Wars figures and the Atari 2600 system was just a really great memory. And then I was yelling at myself at the screen, telling myself, don't open those Star Wars figures. Gosh, I wish I still had all of those toys, original and unopened. But so those are the just two Christmas memories that I wanted to share, both of them game related. And so yeah, guys, I really appreciate 8-Bit Glitch for allowing me to be part of his channel and be part of his 12 Days of Christmas. I appreciate you guys watching this, and I hope all of you guys have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and as always, guys, keep gaming.
Awesome, Steve. Super Mario Bros. 2, as I've already mentioned, is not really my favorite of the Mario games, but it definitely was unique and different of how they adapted that Japanese Doki Doki Panic game to make it a Mario game here in America. And it's pretty fascinating. If you look at Mario 1 to Mario 2 then to Mario 3, there's a big difference there, but it's a fun game and it's very interesting for sure. And the Atari 2600, I mean, that was the first gaming console I ever played on over at a friend's house and another friend's house, and then I eventually got one of my own a few years later and stuff. But yeah, I have a fond memory of playing Atari 2600 on a little 8-inch black and white TV, and I remember getting so excited, getting right up in front of the screen as my friend's playing. I'm like, look out, look for that, look at that, and he's like, get back, you're in the way, and stuff, because we only had this small TV. But it was amazing to be so excited about like a dot on a screen, you know? So thank you for sharing that. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to our next guest, Show Me Retro, Pat. I met Pat a couple years ago, and man, he's just been a great friend, a great person in the community, and he does some great videos and great content. A lot of stuff on modding arcade 1-ups, so if you're into arcade 1-ups, check out his channel and see some of the mods he does. And I don't know, he's just done some great stuff. He's even done some funny character stuff with Bob Ross and things that I love. So I can't wait to see what he does for this segment. So please enjoy Pat from Show Me Retro.
Dad, the camera's on.
Thanks, 8-Bit. So, as Sean mentioned, my name is Pat from the YouTube channel Show Me Retro. And before I get started, I just wanted to thank Sean for allowing me to tell the story on his channel. So I briefly wanted to share my fondest Christmas memory, and it just happens to involve retro video games. I want to take you back to a simpler time. The year was 1978. Some of the popular TV shows included Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days, Charlie's Angels, and the Dukes of Hazzard. And as much as I loved decorating the tree with my family, the only thing on my mind was the most amazing video game console on the planet. The Atari 2600.
The video game that lets you help E.T. get home just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays from Atari.
It was the only thing on my list. You could call it my Red Ryder BB gun, and I had to get one. It was basically that or nothing. So on Christmas morning, we opened our presents, and to my surprise, there was no Atari. And very slowly, a feeling of sadness came over me. Sure, my brothers and sister and I got some wonderful presents that Christmas. It just didn't include that 2600 I wanted so badly. And as we were cleaning up the wrapping paper from all the presents, my dad said, "Wait a minute, I think Santa left one present behind." he went over to a coat closet by the tree and pulled out a huge, crudely wrapped box. I knew exactly what it was. At that moment, I nearly myself. And one of the few times in my life, other than my daughter's being born, that I cried tears of joy. And sadly, no pictures or videos survived of us opening up the Atari on that Christmas morning. But if they had, I think it would have looked something like this.
I think they're excited.
And though I have had many amazing Christmases before and after this one, this is the only one that is etched in my brain. Alright guys, I just wanted to thank you for listening to my Christmas story and letting me share this memory with you. I also want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, be safe, and have a happy 2021. As far as I'm concerned, 2020 can suck it.
Suck it, 2020.
Alright, back to you, Sean.
Ah, yes, the 2600 again. Yes. What can I say that I haven't already said before your video? I mean, it's such a classic console. I mean, it was one of the most popular ones in the 70s, and I mean, they say it kind of helped create the crash, but I don't know. I loved it and stuff, so I'm just glad that it's still got some popularity in the retro community. And I know some people like J-Love have really gotten into it now this year and stuff, so I love when we can keep that Atari 2600 alive. So with that, I guess I need to move on to my memory and my pick for this episode. And that is going to be something that I've already kind of talked about last year in the first episode when I talked about how I acquired my NES system. If you remember, if you watched that episode last year, you remember I got my NES, my first one, by trading another system that I had that I didn't really care for. But now, in my older years, I kind of got nostalgic for it and was thinking back about it. And so, my wife last year at Christmas got me a complete in-box Action Max system. Box has seen better days, but I mean, what do you expect from something from the 80s? But it's here, it's complete with the styrofoam and everything. It's awesome. So, for those who don't know anything about the Action Max system, is my father bought this for me from Railroad Salvage because we couldn't afford an NES at the time. And at Railroad Salvage, it was a discount store, I guess you could say. Not so much like a dollar store, but like a lot of products that didn't sell well in other department stores like Ames, Riches, Caldor, stuff like that, would end up at a Railroad Salvage for deep discounts. So that's where my dad got mine when I was a kid, and then when I traded for an NES. But yeah, it came with one game, and when I say game, I mean a VHS tape, because what this system does is it hooks to your VCR, and then you play these VCR tapes, and it's all light gun games. And you have this little suction cup light that goes on your, like, the corner of your TV. You stick it on there, and it lights up every time you hit something that's targeted on the video. Well, suffice to say, it was neat, but then it wasn't after a while. It got dull really fast, because think about it, it's a VHS, so it's the same thing every time you play. Nothing changes. And when you shoot, say, a jet or something, it doesn't blow up, it just keeps on flying, but it just records on the system a count for every time you hit something. So that's the only way you can keep a score, is on the system itself has a digital number that it keeps track of. So it's neat, and the technology at the time was fascinating, how it could read a VCR tape and pick up your shots. I mean, it makes sense now how it works, but back then it was like magic. So yeah, that's my pick here. Now, I have the game that came with it inside the box, which was the Jet game, and then I have the Rescue of Pops Ghostly, I have the Hydro Sub 2021, and of course 38 Ambush Alley. It's like a cop simulator thing. Now, there was only 5 tapes released for the Action Max before I went under, and I probably planned on doing a whole video on this someday, more in depth about the history of it. But that I don't have that last tape. And that's because it's actually rare. I mean, it's like rarer than Little Samson, okay? It doesn't go for as much as Little Samson, but there's less copies of it than there are of Little Samson, let's put it that way. And it's Blue Thunder, based off of the movie in the I think it was in '83, the helicopter movie. They made a helicopter game for this, and there wasn't a lot of copies of it made, and they were actually in works on a 6th movie which never came out, and that's probably even rarer if you can ever find footage of that or something. But I only seen 1 copy of it go on eBay in the last, like, I don't know, 4 years or so, and the thing sold for like $400 or something. It was ridiculous. So yeah, there's no way I'm paying $400 for a VCR tape. I mean, these ones go for like 10, 15 or something like that. But yeah, that 1 tape is, other than that, I have a complete Action Max system. So if you out there find a Blue Thunder Action Max tape, please nab it if it's you find it in like some flea market for $0.25, and I will pay you for it. I'm not gonna pay you $500, but if you want to help me out, I'd appreciate it. So with that, guys, I want to close off this episode by wishing you a happy holiday, and please hit that subscribe and that bell so you're notified, because I'll be releasing a video tomorrow and every day into New Year's Eve. Wow, every day into Christmas Eve, and there's going to be some more giveaways coming up too. So please subscribe, hit that bell, and until next time, guys, I'm glitching out.